Good morning everyone. So till now we have discussed about few of the topics. That is, first we discussed about Ohm's law, in which we derived an expression V equals to IR. Then we discussed about resistance, in which we derived R equals to V upon I, and we found that R does not depend upon V and I. Then we discussed about factors affecting R, in which we derived an expression R equals to rho L upon A, which I told you is very important for numericals point of view. So today I am here with a new topic, that is factors affecting resistivity. So in that case you have to remember one thing, that rho does not depend upon L and A, length of the material or the wire and area of cross section. Now what does this mean? It means that, let's suppose you have a copper wire with you, and the resistivity of copper is basically around 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. This is the resistivity of copper. So this statement symbolizes that whether a copper wire of 1 meter is there or a copper wire of 10 meter is there, its resistivity will not change. Secondly, it does not depend area of cross section. For example, if this wire has an area of cross section of 1 meter square and this area of cross section is there of 2 meter square, so its resistivity will not change. So this is very important point, that resistivity does not depend upon length and area of cross section. So now the question comes, on what factor it depends? It depends upon nature of material. It depends upon nature of material, that whether it is a conductor or insulator or it is an alloy. Yes, the term alloy, you know, it's a solid solution of two or more than two different metals. Alloys are very important, right? So it depends upon the nature of material, that whether it is a conductor. Conductors have the resistivity from 10 to the power minus 2 to 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. Similarly, insulators, they have the resistivity from 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 8 ohm meter. Whereas alloy, they have the resistivity of 10 to the power minus 4 to 10 to the power minus 6 ohm meter. Right? So the only factor which affects resistivity is the nature of material, and it depends upon the temperature coefficient also. Right? Same as resistance was depending upon temperature coefficient, so resistivity also depends upon the temperature coefficient. So this is very important. So alloys I was talking about. So if I talk about alloy, so I told you that basically alloys are the solid solutions of two or more metals. For example, nichrome. Nichrome is a kind of alloy. It is made up of nickel, chromium, and magnesium and iron. These are the four different metals which combine together to form nichrome. Now, what is the difference to make this alloy? What is the requirement of making these alloy? Is that they are having very high resistivity. They have a very high resistivity, which means if their resistivity is very high, so that means they can be used as heating elements. You must have seen in your geysers, electric iron, they all contain a very high resistive material inside. Manganese is there, so that is made up of alloy. So there may be a question like, why electrical components in geysers and electric iron are made up of alloy? So they have very high resistivity, due to which they have very high temperature coefficient also, and they can bear a very high amount of temperature. So that is the main reason why we use alloy in that. Okay, today I will discuss few of the conceptual questions also with you. In the conceptual questions, I would like to discuss along with you that there used to be a question like, a wire of resistance 10 ohm is stressed twice of its length. Find the new resistance. This question generally asked. Now, what is basic concept in this kind of numerical is, a wire of resistance 10 ohm is stressed twice of its length. Now, what general mistakes done by the students is that they read the question that a wire of resistance 10 ohm is stressed twice of its length. So they got a concept R is directly proportional to L. So since L is increasing 2 times, so R will also increase 2 times. So they write R new as 20 ohm. This is wrong. Okay, so why I called it as a conceptual question? Because there is a concept used over here, stretching of a wire. So whenever you stretch a wire, two things happen. One is the length is increased. Definitely, when you stretch a wire, its length will increase. But simultaneously, the area of cross section will decrease. Two things will happen. One is length will increase, and simultaneously the area of cross section will decrease with the same proportion. That means if length is increased and it becomes 2L, so area will decrease and it will become A by 2. It will not be mentioned in the question. Okay, so that is very important. It will not be mentioned in the question that whether there is change in the area of cross section or not. So you have to understand that concept. So what will be the thing that R is equals to rho L upon A. So this value is given to you. NO. So R new will be equals to rho will remain same because a wire, the same wire is stressed. So I told you that resistivity does not depend upon length and area of cross section. So it will remain same. So L new will become 2L and A will become A by 2. So this 2 will go up and it will become 4 rho L upon A. Now this is 4 into 10, that is 40 ohm. So this is the correct answer. So this is the concept which I was about to tell you, that do not go with direct answer. You have to see the this word stretch. If it is there, then you have to apply this concept. So from here I can give you an expression also, that R nu is equals to n square into R old. This expression you can use. In this, n is basically number of times length is increased. So if it is 3 times, so it will be 3 square into R old, so that will be 9 into 10, 90 ohm. It will be 4 times, so it will be 4 square into R old. So whatever be the value, this you can use, right? But in the exam you have to show it through this process only, right? So second, I would like to tell you the second concept is regarding a wire of resistance 10 ohm is folded along its length. Find the new R. Now there is another concept of folded. So let's suppose this is a wire of certain length and area of cross section A. Now I fold it along its length, and this wire is folded and it has come over here this way. Now what observation can you find out? Number one, the length will reduce. The length will reduce, and number two, the area of cross section will increase with the same proportion. So L becomes L by 2 and A will become 2. So this is the importance of this word, folded. So you will calculate R equals to rho L upon A. So it was 10 ohm, the value is given. So what will be R nu? Rho will remain same because the wire is same. So L now becomes L by 2 and A has become 2A. Now this 2 will come down over here. So it will become 1 by 4 rho L upon A. This value is this. 10 ohm we will put. So this will be 1 by 4 into 10. So R nu will be equals to 2.5 ohm rather than 5 ohm. So this is very important. What I want to tell you, that these kind of conceptual questions generally asked in the question paper, which is not given into your book. So you have to look at the word stretched or folded along its length. How much time it is folded? It will be folded once it is given, right? So you will fold it once. If it is thrice is given, so you will fold it 1 by 3 will become, and area of cross section will become 3 times. So from here I can also give you one expression, that is R nu for folded case will be R old upon n square. So where say n is the folding of wire. So this is very important. Conceptual questions, they are generally asked in your CBSE examination. So today we discussed about resistivity, the factors. One is your nature of material, what kind of material it is made up of, and we talked about alloys. Alloys are very important. They are the solid solution of 2 or more than 2 metals, and they are basically used for electrical elements in geysers, in heaters, in electric iron. They are used as an electrical components. And we discussed about conceptual questions, that is based on stretching of a wire and folding of a wire. So this is very important. Revise it and go through your books for that. That's all. Thank you all.